All right, we're in the pipe. 5 by 5. That's military slang for open communication. Hello, this is Kinninigan from RagingReptilian.com. I had to get my mind off things. We're doing a live stream tonight. This is a video by request, not from a Patreon, but from someone I actually know in real life, who I've covered on the subject of mermaids before. This is more than just a mermaid video. What I want to show in this video is the diversity of aquatic life forms throughout mythology all across the globe. Yeah, the globe. Going all the way back to where it starts in Babylon, all the way up until modern times. I'm going to end the video with a pretty cool article I have pulled up. Did you know that in Zimbabwe, in Africa, every year they hold beer rituals to appease the water spirits? That they claim that if they don't hold these beer rituals for the mermaids destroy the dam they were trying to build. Before I start the video, though, this is what kind of started it all. I've yet to analyze this video. That'll be a separate video. I am still going to analyze this. I'm just a little behind in getting things done. I think people know. Grab a smoke if you got it. This is going to be a lecture. I'm not going to be doing too much reading except for the Zimbabwe mermaid ritual, because that's quite fascinating. So yeah, mermaid life. This was a video taken in Costa Rica. I don't know how it was filmed. Someone's very good with the camera, because I mentioned before, as you watch this clip, there's no water droplets that ever form on this camera. Who was singing? And yes, when they come out, this is a culvert here in the Costa Rica rainforest. When they come out of this, you'll notice in the water, you'll see the mermaid. So this video in itself is a whole nother thing. Now, iconically, when people think of mermaids, they're thinking of the woman with the fishtail. But if I told you, you may think that that version of the mermaid comes from Roman or Greco mythology. That's not the case. When I show you what a real siren from Greece looks like, the iconic mermaid you think about actually goes back to a story that is 1.5 million years old with Rama's Bridge. And I'll show you that, including the mermaids in the story of Rama's Bridge that look exactly like the Naga. There are two different types of mermaid in the Hindu mythology that I've seen. One has a fishtail, one has a tail like a serpent, like the Naga. They helped Rama build the bridge, and counter mermaids tried to destroy the bridge. There was a war on sea, air, and land. Take that for what it is. Because Garuda was involved also, and he's the winged serpent of the Hindu pantheon. And the Rama, a lot of the videos, if the videos are on my channel on the subjects I'm mentioning in this video, I'll let you know. You can do a search. It should be pretty easy to find. I've done a video on the Kappa. I'm going to be showing you that. I've done a video on Rama's Bridge. And I've done pretty much everything on the Sumerian pantheon. Dagon would be a great, excellent video in itself, though. I haven't done a video on the Ninja. Actually, I did on my first Kinninigan channel, but I lost that way back. I lost that video. And I am going to be doing a video about the Arctic Triangle, the Alaskan Triangle, because we have two aquatic hominoids in that from local Inuit mythology. In fact, it's not even mythology. They talk about like it's fact. It's just as well known as our, well, Sasquatch is known in Alaska too by the locals. Yeah. And they're two separately different types of creatures. One is very evil, and one is actually just protecting animals in the river. Very strange, right? So, as with anything. Now, there's another key to this whole puzzle. Where did the mermaids go? And I'm going to do a follow-up video with it. In this lecture, the octopus, alien, occult, and mythical origins is on my channel. This is backed up by real science, proving that the octopus has no genome that is native to native Earth. Tied up on my cords here. I get so many wires running. So, and the other thing is, archaeologists and scientists don't know when they actually came on Earth, because the only way to date an octopus or cephalopod would be to find a fossilized beak and then carbon date it. Looking for octopus beak on the seafloor, ancient octopus beak, yeah, it's not happening. So it's a mystery. And they tie in with the mythology of Cthulhu and remembers that octopus can shapeshift. That's a very important part of the story that I'm going to do in the follow-up in this, if you can see where I'm going with that one. I believe they were brought here. They are an invasive species to this planet. And the Illuminati uses the octopus as their logo. So take that what it is. Oh, that was the Council of Nine. Oh, this is, I had this pulled up because, this is what, I told you in this video I was going to be talking about the Naga. That had actually something to do with this. This is from earlier. So Dagon. We're going back to, this is the Sumerian half-man, half-fish god Dagon. This the representation of him, but I'm going to show you what he really looks like from the Rosicrucians. Dagon is a half Sumerian, half man. He's half fish, and according to 33 Degree Mason Manly Palmer Hall, the lectures on YouTube, after the fall of Atlantis, Dagon came up, and he came up out of the ocean and brought human civilization up to a high degree of civilization. But before you embrace that, Dagon is the father of Baal. You know who Baal is? B-A-L, B-A-A-L? Baal, Molech, who they sacrifice children to. Dagon is not your friend. He is not an Atlantean. And if you want to see what he actually looks like, and this is going back to Babylon, but strangely, the Hindu story of mermaids goes back even further, because Babylon, we're only going back probably 100,000 years. Honestly, I've done the Sumerian kings list, whereas with Rama's Bridge, we're going to be going back 1.5 million years, a little bit before Dagon came along. Now, there is another piece to this puzzle, and that involves dolphins, and I uploaded the video about Credo Whatnot. According to the Zulu mythology, dolphins are from the planet Sirius. They evolved human species, and they're the guardians of the planet to this day. They have a kingdom under the sea, and there actually is some half-truths to this. I don't know if you knew this about dolphins, but dolphins use recreational drugs. They bite on blowfish and release the toxins to hallucinate. They have recreational sex. They have been caught trying to have sex with human women. They have very human-like qualities. They always protect humans in the sea. They stop humans from getting bitten by sharks. They stop surfers from getting bitten by sharks all the time. There are reports that I had a video on my channel. I couldn't find it. I tried to pull it up for this lecture. I can't find it. There was supposedly a video that came off the coast of California a few years ago of a pod of dolphins actually swimming with mermaids. The iconic mermaid that you think about with the fishtails and the arms and all that. So, interesting things. According to Credo Motwa, they went back into the ocean, probably because they're smarter than we are, and they continue to be guardians of this planet along with the whales. Now, the invasive whale species, supposedly of all this, going to the Freemason black and white, is supposedly the orca, the killer whale. Yeah, very strange things here. And orca and dolphins don't get along. So there's some strange things going on in the sea. Whales, we know, are highly intelligent. It's been theorized that whales can perform transcendental meditation, which is how the Zulu claim to have communicated with them through telepathy. So, Dagon, whales, dolphins, octopus. These ain't even the strange creatures yet, okay? But look at just the diversity there of just the aquatic life I just talked about. The most alien of all being the obvious, the octopus. I mean, come on. Yeah. So next, I brought this picture up. This is a picture from I believe it's 15, I forget the exact year, but it's from the Nuremberg Bible. and it's a representation of Noah's Ark. Now we know, obviously, Noah didn't put all them animals in a boat. In fact, if you're curious, I could show you Noah's Ark right now because it's one of the Rosicrucian plots. But Noah's Ark is not what you think. It's a plan on how to repopulate the earth after the flood. In fact, I'll show you. But and then we'll get back to why there's mermaids in there. But those mermaids are a little different, and they're holding mirrors. So let me show you what the Dagon looks like on the Gnostic gems. This is Abrahas. You see him? He's got the twin serpent feet here. This is who the Rosicrucians worship. The Vatican worships this deity, Abrahas, if I'm saying that correctly. That's his name. This is one of the plots. This is I've done in fact, I re-uploaded that video. Also, the 12 plates of the Rosicrucian order. And if you're curious, this is the Ark of Noah. It is a plan on how to repopulate the earth through the zodiac signs of the year, because you couldn't have 6 billion Leos running around. I'm a Leo. Hello. You couldn't have 6 million Pisces running around. So you have to diversify through the energy that these entities and creatures would all pick up humans throughout these signs of the zodiac. So if you're putting 12,000 people on Earth, you would put 1,000 through each month of the zodiac, and that's exactly what this is, including the middle path, the left-hand path, and the right-hand path. Right on here, this is the Ark of Noah. It is not what you think it is. It is a plan on how to repopulate the Earth after the flood. Yeah, these are the Rosicrucian plates. This is the real deal. I don't play around. So this is the Nuremberg Bible with mermaids in it. Now these mermaids are holding mirrors, always associated with scurrying. That's what mirrors are. They are scurrying devices. So these are kind of like the iconic, mermaids that people think about. But why are they in the Nuremberg Bible with Noah's Ark? Very strange, right? Now we get on, what is this? 12 readers in the U.S. Wikipedia wants a donation. Can't you ask Google for money? Don't you put Wikipedia links under all my videos, the ones I make about Freemason, the ones I make about reptilians, Agenda 21? There's always a Wikipedia link under there. Can't you ask Google for money? I'm broke. Get away from me. Donations to Wikipedia. Oh yeah, after they put them under my videos, right? Okay, so this is the siren from Greek mythology, and this is where the word siren is rooted from. Supposedly these creatures made loud noises. Now, if there were aquatic creatures that made loud noises like dolphins do, it would be higher pitched to move through water. So if they were making sounds out of water, I can understand the high-pitched sounds that were associated with sirens. It would make sense. Now, supposedly the first ones are under governance of Zeus. Yeah, the gods of Mount Olympus. I redid that video. But this is what a siren looks like in Greek mythology. It's got duck feet. And it's not like what you think. It's got wings. It's got duck feet. That's not the typical mermaid you would think about, is it? Now, even stranger, going to the Roman mythology, there was a time when one of the emperors, I believe it was Nero, I have to look it up. I want to make a video about it. He actually went to war with Poseidon, the god of the sea, and had Roman legions go into the ocean and stab their swords into the ocean. They passed off the story as just funny Roman mythology that really didn't have any basis in reality, but I'm starting to rethink that story. Remember, Nero's a very controversial emperor when it comes to Rome. He's the one that burned it, fiddle away as Rome burns. So there might be some truth to that story about Nero having his legions attack mermaids in the ocean. Yeah, that was a real story. That comes from ancient Rome. And these are what the sirens look like in Greek mythology. So let's get to the iconic mermaids. Rama's Bridge, this video is on my channel. These are some of the, these are found in temples, okay, in India. These are not children's drawings. These are actually on temple walls. That's where they're taken from. These are the mermaids that helped Ramasitu build the bridge. And then there was rebel mermaids, these ones over here. Ravana, he's the demon king who kidnapped Ramasitu's wife. The other thing about Ravana and Rama's bridge is Ravana can shapeshift. He has 10 heads. They also tricked Ramasitu's wife into being kidnapped by using a shape-shifting entity to look like one of her, I believe it was her maids or something like that. The women that go around with queens and stuff like that as their, forget the exact name of them, but I think you know what I'm talking about. And one shapeshifted and tricked her, and that's how. And then Ravana brings Ramasitu's wife to Sri Lanka, which is 21 miles off the coast of India. In the span of 2 days, Rama built a bridge to lead his army with the help of Hanuman, the monkey god, and I believe the name is the Veneer, the half monkey men, and with a blessing from the goddess of the sea, gets the help of mermaids to also build this bridge. This bridge was built in 48 hours. Proof of it is visible by Google Satellite Today. That video is on my channel. This story takes place 1.5 million years ago. Mainstream Western society just brushes it off. And talk to Hindus, they talk about this is just fact to them. This is part of their religion and what they teach their children. This is part of the Hindu religion and what's taught. I made a video today about the 9 unknown men from India. Have you ever heard about them? I would say that India is holding on to some pretty big secrets on this planet. And they've kind of been like under the radar. No one talks that much about India, do they? Well, I am, because I'm finding out some fascinating things when you study India. Including, now this mermaid here has the iconic naga tail. This mermaid, they have the fishtails. And they also look white. Why is that? This has to do with the Vedic Aryans, okay? Something very strange in ancient Hinduism. It's very, they got blue people. Oh, they got all kinds of people. Trying to see if I can find some more. Yeah, these are infamous from a temple about Rama's bridge story. They try to destroy the bridge as he was building it. And then he eventually gets over to Sri Lanka. And that's where the Lion's Rock is, the underground city of reptilians. I made a video on that also. The huge dinosaur head that leads to the underground city of reptilians, which is where I believe Ravana took Ramasitu's wife when they invaded. This would eventually lead up to the Vemno Wars in ancient India, which, you know, there was something big going on in ancient times. So now, even more strange. We're going to take a trip to Japan now. Things are just going to get crazy. Because the kappa, the Japanese river monster. Now what's interesting about the kappa, they're freshwater aquatic hominoids in Japan. They're about 3 feet tall. They have bowls on their head, and inside they keep water. And it's said that if you can make a kappa bow and dump that water out, and you go to the river where they come to and replace the water in their head, they become loyal servants to you. But at the same time, and this is an ancient Japanese piece of a kappa. There's pictures of samurai fighting these things. You just can't make this kind of stuff up. They got turtle shells on their back. Now, it's not known whether it's a natural turtle shell or they steal them and use them as kind of an accessory. Root of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Yeah. Oh, it's a root of bigger mythology than that. How about Star Wars? Showed you a kappa in the movie, and I'll show you that in a second. Good old George Lucas. Well, he doxed Bigfoot with Chewbacca. You didn't figure that out? The double C's in Chewbacca's name? That's always indicative of a secret society and code. The kappa also are said to be evil. They rape women. And they can also steal your soul by taking it out of your anus. So this is Japanese mythology. I'm just telling you, I've done the research on this. I've made a video on the kappa. These are like ancient Japanese murals of them. And I'll show you what some of the modern like representation. Now, the kappa is more well known in Japanese mainstream media than our Bigfoot is. They're known to exist. However, it's theorized that the Japanese keep them hidden and they keep them secret now. That supposedly somewhere in Japan there is a kappa sanctuary, and I wouldn't doubt it, because they've coexisted with these creatures. Look familiar. There's a reason I'm showing you that one. It should jump out to you. Did it jump out by now? Yes. Jabba's sidekick from Star Wars is based off the kappa. George Lucas had some insider knowledge when he made Star Wars. That's all I'm telling you. A little different than the kappa. Same body kind of statue, though. Now, what's even more strange about the kappa in Japan is, I'll see if I show this. They got like these attractions down here that you can go to in Japan, and they pop up out of the water, and it's like, what's going on in Japan? Supposedly, you can lure a kappa with a cucumber. There's people that go fishing in rivers in Japan with cucumbers to lure kappa. They've got a few different depictions of them throughout Japan, the way they look. Some show them beaked like this with the kind of the moe haircut. And yeah, supposedly these creatures are quite real. You go to Japan, there's signs on gates here. There's like signs on certain water systems in Japan that says beware, and this is like there's kappa written on the sign. Yeah, these are ancient scrolls from Japan. This is supposedly a preserved kappa they had in a Japanese museum. Not sure. Oh, here's the kappa hand in a Japanese museum. So Japan was very closed. If you ever seen the movie The Last Samurai, that kind of touches on that. I'm not promoting Tom Cruise, but it's true. Until the invention of the rifle, when the Western man was able to actually invade Japan and the samurai, Japan was a closed nation for thousands of years. No foreigners got in there. We don't know what was going on. But this ain't the strangest story that comes from Japan. There's a underground... reptilians are acknowledged there, the native Terrans. There is a temple in Japan that has a statue of one. I made that video. And I'll make the video in the future. Wait till I make the video about the Tengu. Yeah, the mountain creatures of Japan. There's a car alarm going off outside my house. It's annoying. So much noise. Alright, they stopped. So yeah, pretty crazy. And you go to Japan. This is well-known mainstream mythology over there. You ask them where the kappa are now, they don't have a good answer. But I did some research. I made that video probably about a year and a half ago, and I tried to do research on what happened to the kappa. And there's a theory that they've been put into a sanctuary. Let me show you another story that comes from Southeast Asia. And then this video is actually on my here it is. This one's on my channel. This is from Thailand. Now, some of the aquatic creatures on the planet are not all fish. Some are said to be, and this was a video of an aquatic creature. The authenticity of the video is up for debate. Were these real? But no, the mythology of the Shenei in Thailand is 100% real. This is what these creatures look like as per their own mythology. They look like little versions of Bigfoots, except they live near the sea in caves, and they come out for fish. And now they try to debunk this story. I'm showing you this here because this is how they try to debunk the story when I made it, saying that these were costumes made by this costume company right here. But I had professional costume maker from Disney comment on my video when I had it on. This was Kinninigan 2.0. A professional costume maker who worked for Disney who told me flat out, Ken, they are not the same costumes. I make costumes for a living for Disney. They are not the same costumes they are showing you in this picture here. It was another kind of Snopes debunk campaign against this video footage that came out on the internet that was supposedly taken of the Shanae by some boaters in Thailand. They just accidentally rolled up on the Shanae while they were out doing what they do, looking for fish, I guess, and they were singing. That video's on my channel right here, The Strange Aquatic Hominoids, filmed in Thailand. And they tried to debunk it. Whenever you have people trying to debunk a story, yeah, see, this costume here looks nothing like the ones they filmed. They tried to say it was a diver. Oh, no, this was a, yeah, whatever. This, oh, okay. I had this in that video. These are the statues in Japan of the kappa in Japan on a river. That's how well known they are over there. These ones are like tall and thin. Now we're going to get to more stranger stuff. I'm going to make a video about there are so many cryptozoological anomalies in the Alaskan Triangle. It's like a freak show. Everything from Bigfoot to, it's crazy. They made an entire television, I've been watching all the shows. Not that you're going to learn anything from History Channel. They never find anything, wink, wink. But they did cover these two creatures I'm about to cover. And I'll put the links in the description for the videos if you want to watch them. The Alaskan Triangle is kind of like the Bermuda Triangle, except what it is they've had a major amount of people just mysteriously disappear. The theory is that a lot of these people that go missing are being taken by cryptozoological creatures, and two of them that I'm going to talk to you about right now. Now, the first one I can't pronounce, and I'm not going to butcher the Inuit pronunciation of it, but the first one, where do you hear this? The full episode is in, I'll put, like I said, all the links will be in the description, but this is what the first one looks like. It's a woman. She has feet like a human, but they're webbed, and she has webbed hands. She lives in the Arctic, northern Alaska, where it's freezing cold. She's got hair like this, which is kind of like dreadlocked, and she wears this thing, and she says to carry a basket. Where do you hear this? She steals natives' children that are near the beach and puts them in the basket, but she steals the children for immortality. She eats them for immortality. That is mythology by the local Inuits themselves. Now, if you want to watch the video, there was a story in here. I don't know how legit the guy is. Supposedly some guy was clam digging with his friend in Alaska, and they were near the beach, and his friend was up on the shore further than him. He heard a scream. His friend disappeared. He thought he was pulled out by a riptide, except for the fact, and probably the only reason why the Alaska police didn't arrest him for homicide, because it's pretty suspicious, you know. Hey, I was fishing with my friend, and he just disappeared. There were footprints in the sand of this creature, so it's probably why the guy wasn't arrested. And I'm pretty damn sure that the Alaskan police are in the know when it comes to local Inuit mythology, like our police are in the Southwest with Native Americans. It's known, okay? They know about the Skinwalkers, yeah. So, this one alone. And I can't say the name of this one correctly. For the life of me. I tried it. Now, the other one gets even stranger. This episode of Missing in Alaska is soul-stealing shapeshifters. Yeah, that got my attention. Except this ain't a reptilian. This is a shape-shifting otter, known as Otterman. He's about 8 foot tall. He has the ability to walk on land, and he's harmful to humans. It is said he protects the otters and was a manifestation of the deforestation of Alaska when they started cutting down trees. And to protect the otters in the river, he came around and started protecting them. And he swims up and down these rivers in the form of an otter and can shapeshift. He could shapeshift into your best friend. And what he does is try to lure you into the woods, but he can't talk. So if you're ever in Alaska and you think you see your best friend or girlfriend walking strangely towards the woods and they're not talking, it's Otterman. He has the ability to shapeshift, yes, into human form. and trick you into going into the woods where he will bring you to the river and kill you. Yeah, shape-shifting otter people. Except this episode, there's some strangeness in this episode. They supposedly go out to the woods in this episode where this Otterman creature lives, or where he's been sighted recently, which is this part of the show here, I believe. And what's strange is they're right near a river. They have thermal cameras. They're out here with trail cameras. There is no signs of any type of life in the forest around here because it's said that he scares away all the animals. And there were no animals at this part of the woods here. Strange. I mean, I think they were out there filming for like a whole day, and the only thing they found was a fox. He also tricks people into mimicking baby cries of humans, because what are you going to do if you hear a baby crying in the woods? You're going to run out and go see what's going on. Then Otterman shapeshifts and bang, you're dead. And that's how the mythology goes. And this is from the locals in Alaska. They know about it. They all know about Otterman. Strange things in Alaska, huh? And this is just like some of the diversity of aquatic hominoids. Why I want to do this video. Next, we are going to the Antarctic. Now, I've done a video on organism 46b from Lake Vostok in Russia. Did I re-upload that video to my channel? I have to check. If not, I'll have to remake it. I might have lost that video. Lake Vostok, I'm not going to cover him because this is aquatic humanoids. Organism 46b is supposedly a... Yeah, I'll try to pull up there. Picture of him. Organism 46b is supposedly a highly intelligent octopus from an ancient Antarctic lake. Yeah, we'll talk about that's a totally separate entity altogether. And I want to do a different video on the octopus and organism 46b and the kraken from Greek mythology, because there might be some more reality in that than see, the Pacific octopus can only live for 3 years, and it never grows and it never stops gaining intelligence throughout its life, and it's only got a 3-year lifespan. If the Pacific octopus, which is this right here, had the lifespan of a human, they would rule the planet because they don't stop growing. And at 3 years old, they could have a 20-foot tentacle span. Think about how big an 80-year-old octopus would be and how intelligent it would be. And on top of that, it has the ability to shapeshift. Yeah, we're getting into some interesting things there. But this is the Ninja. And supposedly, the Ninja is this huge aquatic hominoid that lives up near the Antarctic. It's not really shown to be having intelligence, I would say, like some of the other aquatic creatures, kind of like a walrus or something, but there's been different depictions of it. This is supposedly a picture that was taken of one. They live in extremely cold water around the Antarctic, and the Ninja, that's a Japanese word. Because Japanese whalers were the first ones to start reporting about these. They've been reported in videos from whistleblowers from the U.S. Navy. This is supposedly one walking on the ice. But what's even more interesting about the Ninja is the most infamous picture of all. I believe this is another video I might have lost from my other channel. Yeah, it was filmed on Google Earth. Because Google Earth goes around and takes pictures sporadically, and here's the coordinates that it was actually filmed at. It's been scrubbed from Google Earth since then, obviously. But yeah, look at the size of that thing. It's huge. It is massive. These Ninja are supposedly, they say they're the size of whales. And they can walk on land, and they have arms and legs like a human. I mean, is it that hard to believe that a hominoid species... It's probably an ancient species, probably been on the planet for a while. Doesn't seem really to bother anyone. We don't know too much about them. They're rarely sighted. People that have access to the Antarctic to actually film them are usually down there with quote-unquote government agencies, which are controlled by the Masons. We know that. Everyone on the Antarctica project is Masonic controlled. We know that. because there's more things in Antarctica than just the ninja they don't want you to know about. But still, this is pretty fascinating, isn't it? And just the diversity of, yeah, that is the Ninjan. And supposedly there's a bunch of pictures floating around. It's hard to tell, but the one from Google is legit. So it's pretty interesting. Unfortunately, because nobody lives at Antarctica, we don't have too much mythology around them. We do with the other creatures, but we don't have anyone that we know of living on Antarctica. I'm sure somebody at Antarctica could fill us in on the Ninja. Still pretty fascinating. And yeah. So the last video here, save this for last because it's summertime and everyone likes beer, right? Zimbabwe mermaids appeased by traditional beer ritual. Now, they do this every year in Zimbabwe. Johannesburg, South Africa. A mermaid-plagued dam in Zimbabwe is up and working after traditional healers brewed beer to appease the mischievous water spirits. I told you about that in the beginning of the video. You can't make this up. The mermaids had harassed workers installing water pumps at a dam near the small town of Gokwe in northern Zimbabwe, according to local media reports. Water Resources Minister Samuel Sepepa Nakomo told a Senate committee last week that the work on the pumps at Gokwe Dam had stopped and terrified workers complained of machines breaking down under mysterious circumstances and blamed mermaids, the state-run Herald newspaper reported. Nakomo said the same problem had been reported at the Osborne Dam near Monterrey in the country's east. He called for traditional rituals to be performed at the dams, including traditionally brewed beer to rid them of the mermaid menace. At Osborne Dam, divers have been sent down to investigate the cause of the blockages in the pumps, but returned to the water's surface vowing to never go back down again. The South African Press Association reported. We even hired whites. Oh, you hear that, BLM? How you like that? We even hired whites thinking our boys did not want to work, but they returned saying that they did not want to return there again either. So, how you like that in South Africa? Oh, well, let's send the white people down and see what they think. Oh, they don't want to go back either. Okay, all right. Yeah, if Whitey ain't going back down there, there's a problem, right? The problem at Gokwe was reportedly solved last week when the Water Ministry hired traditional healers to conduct rituals. The traditional leaders held a ceremony in which they slaughtered cattle and brewed beer to appease the water spirits. Now, yes, Africa is highly, if you know anything about Santeria and voodoo, it is based on this type of African mysticism mixed with Catholicism. Yes, they slaughtered a cattle to appease the water spirits. That is paganism. I don't believe in mermaids, but the community that lives in the area does, Nakomo said, according to the SPA. According to the Voice of America, belief in mermaids persists among some Zimbabweans, though many are skeptical of such claims. Mermaids are supposedly mythical water creatures with a female body and tail of a fish. Those tales were mostly in circulation hundreds of years ago, but stories continue to make their rounds in Zimbabwe. And they do in African folklore, while Zulu folklore, according to Credo Mutwa, who also claims that dolphins and whales are intelligent. So, it's all for my Aquatic Hominoid video. All these links will be in the description if you want to follow up on or watch these videos about missing it in Alaska. I'm going to make a video about the Alaska Triangle. It's fascinating. And, of course, I'll play this before I end the video. Mermaid life. Okay. And, of course, if you're here in the chat, thanks for showing up. All my links are in the description. I started doing a new thing in Patreon today with Patreon only news posts, articles I find in the news that I cannot report about on YouTube anymore, and I find a lot of them. Today I posted about Maxine Grislane's court appearance yesterday that you're not hearing about. Why? Well, Brie Larson was live streaming today talking about finding bugs on an island. Wink, wink. There's a reason I posted that. There's a method to my madness. But show how. Let me show Brie how to run a live stream. And the reason I'm saying that, I am not going to monetize this channel at all. So if you're able to help me out with donations, and to the people who already did, thank you. I saw them before I made the video today. I also had some new Patreons joined up. Patreons that are listening, a little behind. Obviously, I think you guys know, but I'm going to spend a day this week where I just answer all your messages and get caught up on Patreon, including changing around, because I wrote that a few years back. I want to change like the tier system on Patreon. Any post I make at Patreon, everyone has access to, whether you're a $50 a month Patreon or $1 a month. I do that, but the services I offer to Patreons, like the ones $50 a month, they get voice chats with me. So I haven't forgot about you two. There's 2 of them. I'll be maybe tomorrow. I'll make it Patreon day or something like that, and I'll try to get caught up on everything that's going on with Patreon before the weekend hits. Okay, I didn't forget about you guys. Secondly, follow me at LBRY. All my videos are on LBRY, including all the ones that I am not going to upload to YouTube again. I have 1,300 videos here. In my description on my videos, if you ever, when I say links, if you go down here, here's my invite to LBRY. Don't follow me on Twitter. I'm going to make a video about Twitter. I rarely go on Twitter, but all my links are always in the description, because going forward, there's a reason I'm not monetizing on YouTube. I think I don't want Google's money. So I'm going to make probably like a more concise thing to put at the end of my videos, because don't you hate when you like watch a person's video and they're plugging all their ads and stuff before the video starts? I learned in sales. I worked as a car salesman for many years. You got to build value to close the deal, you know? So show people a video first, then put, 30-second ad clip in at the end. And if they stayed and watched your video to the end, they might actually support you. So I'm going to do that as an ending for my videos from now on. Like, hey, follow us here. Because I don't want people to think we were demonetized. I want people to know right from the gate, I never monetized. Okay, huge difference there. It means that if Google was giving me money, I would take it. But they're not giving me money. And no, that's not the case. I am not monetizing. So anyway, it's going to be all for this video. I hope the person I made this for, I hope I covered enough here. There is a lot more aquatic hominoids I can cover, and I'll cover them in the future. There's just ones all around the planet. Some of them get really strange. China has the water dragons. They have the ability to shapeshift also in the human form. Yeah, there's a reoccurring theme with aquatic hominoids and shapeshifters, and especially the one in Alaska who steals babies in adrenochrome harvesting. Who'd have thought mermaids were in adrenochrome harvesting? Well, apparently they are. Anyway, any questions or comments, leave them below. Until we speak again, this is Kinninigan, and take care.